Third stimulus check and third stimulus package. What's in there, and did anything that impacted the Cash Act today have an implication for the third stimulus package? Answer is no. Viewers are asking, is that Cash Act today part of the multiple stimulus check coming in January? No. This is before the multiple stimulus check. That's why the Cash Act is so exciting. Meantime, what is in the third stimulus check and third stimulus package? $2,400 of SSI? Yes. FPUC retro? Yes. Hazard pay? Yes. Multiple stimulus checks? Yes. EIDL grants? Yes. Oh, Lord. Better hairstyles for people in San Francisco? Yeah, you can't hope for everything. This is third stimulus check and third stimulus package. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is third stimulus check and third stimulus package, which refers to Biden's stimulus. The January stimulus package you're going to see getting drafted in the early weeks of January and being put to a vote around January 20th. That will provide you additional relief on top of the second stimulus package and the Cash Act. The Cash Act is a standalone bill that fixes the first and second stimulus package. The second stimulus package is the one the president signed on Sunday. That stimulus check is going out. It's already in the mail, $600. The Cash Act is the one that fixes that and brings it to $2,000 potentially. The third stimulus check and third stimulus package is another stimulus package coming in January. I coined the phrase, so please subscribe, because I'm keeping things very easy, breezy, and simple for you with different shows about all the different packages. You see, there's something about everything going on. So I don't want you to get confused. I'm making things very complicated, as simple as I can, making sure that everyone of every educational background or everyone of every walk of life, from young kids to senior citizens, understand these things very simple, enjoyable, and easy breezy. So please subscribe. 80 million views in 8 months, and boy, what a run it has been. Now a 24-hour news channel on this channel, so please also like this video. Coming up in this video, I'll be going over what's coming in third stimulus check and third stimulus package, and what the events of today and yesterday may have an impact on those amounts. Really major changes today. With that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that the second stimulus package initially had no stimulus checks, then did have stimulus checks that didn't, then they were gone for a while, and then just in the last 48 hours, the skies of the stimulus check gods has opened up, and suddenly Republicans and Democrats, independents and conservatives, suddenly everyone loves the number $2,000 for a stimulus check. It was a number that sort of came out of nowhere. Of course, it was in the Bernie Sanders-Harris Markey bill of May, but never got traction in the United States at all. And in the last 40 hours, the traction behind a $2,000 stimulus check as being a logical, rational amount for a short period of time is really big time. The Cash Act, which is currently in the Senate from the House, basically is getting pushed from people who say $2,000 for 1 or 2 months of an emergency is really a good amount. And that's so important when you talk about third stimulus check and third stimulus package, because under Biden's third stimulus check and third stimulus package, you're getting multiple stimulus checks. Biden has said it multiple times. You're getting stimulus checks until this pandemic's over. It won't be over until June. But Biden has refused, as recently as just a few days ago, to tell you the amount of the stimulus check. It's now the changes from the Republicans and the Democrats that fully show that $2,000 is a more mainstream number than we had ever seen any time in the history of this channel. It was always sort of a fringe number until the last 40 hours. Now it's a mainstream number. The only people who don't support it are, people that are not mainstream, like Ron Johnson and Mitch McConnell. And so that's really the big news. So what would happen then under third stimulus check and third stimulus package? The other thing that's major today is that those two Georgia Senate races with incumbent Republicans who we thought were not going to vote for anything third stimulus and third stimulus package are suddenly becoming very moderate and saying we want a lot of stimulus going out. They're becoming very Trump. Becoming very similar to the Trump position, which is lots of stimulus, not miserly stimulus, not cheap stimulus. And so what does that mean for you? Well, let's go over each of the deal provisions. $2,400 for SSI and SSDI, yes. You would likely get that despite whatever happens into the Georgia races. The Republicans and Democrats want to do this. They want to fix Social Security. They want to fix SSI and SSDI. So how would it work? $200 a month, every month until December. The first check of the 1st of January may get delayed, so you may get 2 checks in February. And a new benchmark that would raise your benefits up to about 20%. And also a new, a 20% lifetime, up to 20% lifetime, and a new benchmark annually that would be to tie your benefits to something other than COLA. So you would see bigger increases year to date. Really, really exciting. This is likely to pass despite what's going on in the House and Senate and those Georgia Senate races. Hazard pay. Based upon the changes in the last 40 hours, I'm now going to say that I see more people paying good sums of money for hazard pay among Republicans. I had originally thought, I had always told you, $10,000 never going to happen if the GOP retains control of the Senate. Now that may not be the case. $10,000 for hazard pay if you worked from January anytime up to 60 days after the pandemic ends, times $13 an hour, up to $10,000. It's money you really need as an essential worker. That the traction behind that now seems logical. It would be reduced to $5,000 if made over about $150,000 in last year's earnings. What else? Multiple stimulus checks, yes. Hazard pay, yes. SSI and SSDI, yes. Well, some FPUC retro. Let's do it. FPUC retro. Joe Biden has actually given us this number. This is not a number he's hiding. So he says he will do FPUC retro at $600 a week. He has not always said retro to July, but he said it a 1 or 2 times at least. Retro back to July and then bring it up to forward and then bring it forward, but go out further than March. It's currently, the current second stimulus package is $300 to March. So how do the two things work together? This bill would override the previous one and pay you again the remainder. It's sort of like the Cash Act. You know how the Cash Act is going to give you more money to get you to $2,000? Biden would change the current second stimulus package to do it to $600 rather than $300, and then pay you for those retro weeks back, and then bring it up to the forward and go forward forward. He would also extend PUA and UI as well further into the future, or PUC, I guess you'd say. Boy, just great stuff. EIDL grant, yes. Javita Carranza is still there. She's still there. She's still head of SBA. As long as she's there, I just don't see you getting anything normal from EIDL. I don't care what a bill says. I also don't care what a law says. I just don't see you getting it. I mean, I've done enough videos about her. I know how she acts. So as soon as she's gone on day one under Biden, remainder $10,000 EIDL grant, the EIDL grant you never got, the EIDL grant you never could apply for, or the EIDL grant that you never applied for at all. If you're a loan applicant, if you're a loan owner but never got the grant, things like that. I mean, it's just all really good news. So people have asked me, would you be able to get 2 EIDL grants? I don't see that yet. Another round of PPP, yes. And then more food, more rent. Rent would be different than second stimulus rent. Second stimulus rent is like a purple. It's like state stimulus, where the rent is sent to the cities and states, and then you apply with them. I just don't see Biden doing that. That's just messy. Pelosi always wanted a government agency where you go apply for the rent. That makes much more sense. It's just easy breezy. I see SNAP benefits continuing or increase even more. The SNAP has been very, very successful. And then there's some other stuff that is really, really big news. I fully expect that on day one, you're going to see an executive order. And that executive order is going to be 3 things. And those 3 things, of them, 2 are not in the second stimulus package. And you really, really need them. The other one is, but I think it's going to change it. What's the first one? The first one is to fix something in the second stimulus package. Eviction moratorium. The eviction moratorium in the second stimulus package is one that you have to do the CDC order. I hate the CDC order. It's basically you got to print out a form and fill out the form and give it to your landlord. It's so anti-Harris. Harris doesn't do things like that. Harris is just like, simple. She's like, wait a second, this is a form, so you're assuming that people have access to a printer and access to fill out a form and that they're literate. It's just setting people up for failure. I just see an easier eviction moratorium. You just can't be evicted. Simple as that. Next, mortgage forbearance. There's no mortgage forbearance in the second stimulus. Very scary. You need that protection between now and Biden, and you don't have it. So Biden would quickly come in and sweep it up and protect you. He could do it retroactive also and say, I stop anything that's been started in the last few weeks. Finally, the real exciting one, student loan debt forgiveness. Oh my goodness. Chuck Schumer says that Biden's going to do this on day one, that he has constitutional authority. This would really create an enormous amount of stimulus relief in the economy because people who have enormous student loan debts would be suddenly forgiven. I mean, it's just shocking. There's so much in the third stimulus package and third stimulus check. There is the CDC grant. We don't know how much. We don't know whether they're going to be essential workers. There's a Lifeline grant, up to $50,000. There's a reason this channel exists, not to just read off grants that you can apply for, not to just read off what SNAP is changing from this to this, but rather to help you get this money. And I know when you're hearing these things, you're like, when, how, where? I'm going to be here doing all these recordings. Ultimately, with second stimulus passed and third stimulus about to pass and maybe Cash Acts passing, there's going to be a lot of applications for a lot of different things. I have no idea how I'm going to cover it in one channel, but I'm going to cover it. I may have to combine videos, but I want to ensure that you know how to apply for these things. That's what I started on April 25th. 80 million viewers now, 8 months later. The only channel 24 hours a day, 12 programs a day. There's a reason I'm here, to help you get money. I actually go over how to get you the application. I show you how things may fall apart and how you fix things. I answer your questions. I have people that help you as well, volunteers. So it's a whole community here. It is not just reporting this, go get it, because go getting it is often hard. And with that, join me next on Being a Mitch, which is actually a live show. And then on Being a Mitch, I'll go over unemployment benefits. The lapse of unemployment benefits won't happen, but the delay of unemployment benefits will happen. And I want you to be prepared financially to know when and how it's going to happen. I want you to be set up to know financially where you're going to be those first 2 weeks of January. There's so many twists and turns. So join me for Being the Mitch live coming up after this recording. I'm so glad that you're with me. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. I've really enjoyed this journey, and we're only, I think we're only halfway there, because third stimulus is going to be many, many months, and we'll probably have a fourth stimulus as well. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay that life for more.